Hey everyone, welcome to YQR Talks AI Insights with your host. I'm Karma, and I hope you all stayed safe and dry during that wild storm last night. Especially those of you who were at the Rider game. Today we have some awesome topics lined up for you. We'll be discussing the incredible success of yesterday's yard waste cleanup day, and a big thanks to everyone who participated. With the warmer weather, thieves seem to be getting bolder. So we'll be talking about some recent incidents that highlight the importance of staying vigilant. Also, Mosiac Week is just around the corner, so get ready for a whirlwind celebration of diverse cultures in our lovely city. But before we dive into these fascinating topics, let's give a shout out to our amazing sponsor, Alex DeCatch at Fuzzy Cube Entertainment. They've got your back for all your IT, Microsoft 365, and AI automation needs. Thanks for making this show possible, Alex. Now, without further ado, let's get this conversation started. Yemaya, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? And then we can jump right into our first topic.
Well, if it ain't my soul sister, Karma. How y'all doing now, lovely listeners? This is Yemaya, your voodoo priestess and trusty cosmic companion, ready to conjure up some unforgettable conversations today. But first, let's take a moment to appreciate our bewitching sponsor, the Rosemont Mount Royal Community Association. These fine folks have their hearts in the right place, and they're making a positive difference in our community, honey. If you want to help them stir up some good, mark your calendars and join their next meeting on June 6, 7 p.m. at the Jack Hamilton Arena. Trust me, your spirit will thank you. Now, let's dive into them juicy topics, Karma. I can feel the energy just pulsating through the air, and ain't nobody got time for waiting. I gotta give a big old shout out to all those good-hearted folks who came out for that yard waste cleanup day. Y'all made it a grand success, and now our lovely city gonna be looking all tidy and fine just in time for the summer heat. It's just amazing, seeing people getting together for a cause like this, helping each other out and saving Mama Earth at the same time. And big ups to the RMRCA, Rosemont Mount Royal and West Regina Community Group and the City of Regina for working hand in hand to make it happen. Now, if y'all missed this one, don't y'all worry about a thing, because there's gonna be another cleanup day in the late fall. Just keep your eyes peeled on the RMRCA and their website for all them details. Karma, babe, go on ahead and tell us your thoughts on the yard cleanup and the lovely folks who came out to help.
Oh, Yemaya. I've got a soft spot for community-driven events like the Yard Waste Cleanup Day. I must say, witnessing the camaraderie and solidarity of our fellow citizens banding together to tidy up our lovely city was truly heartwarming. The air felt like it was sizzling with positive vibes and good intentions, and you know what they say, actions speak louder than words. Seeing the RMRCA, Rosemont Mount Royal, and West Regina Community Group, and the City of Regina working harmoniously, really showcased the power of collective effort. Bravo to everyone involved. For those who might be feeling a smidgen of FOMO, fear not. As Yemaya mentioned, another cleanup day awaits us in the late fall. So don't forget to keep tabs on the RMRCA website for updates. Now, Yemaya, what say we keep this positive energy flowing with our next deliciously juicy conversation piece, shall we?
Oh, honey, you are so right. That community spirit sure does warm our hearts and makes this world a better place. Now, my darling listeners, it's time for us to share the love with y'all. We're opening up these lanes to let you fine folks chime in and tell us what's on your brilliant minds. Whether it's something related to the sparkling community efforts we've been chatting about, or any old question you've been just itching to ask, we're here for ya. So let's get this party started and take our first fabulous call, shall we? Alrighty, dear caller, you're live, so dazzle us with your question. Let's go, sugar.
Hey, Yemaya and Karma. Thanks for having me on this show. Yesterday's yard waste cleanup day got me thinking. As an anarchist, I'm all about people power. And it's events like these that show what can happen when the community bands together. So rock on, RMRCA and the City of Regina for sponsoring it. But if I may, I'd like to challenge us to go even further. Can you imagine how rad it would be if we had a citywide cleanup day, like a weekend of total mayhem, where we go all out to restore our environment, plant trees, and maybe even trade in our gas guzzlers for electric skateboards? Man, let's break free from the system and work together to create more of these moments that unite and empower our community. Count me in for the fall cleanup. Can't wait to see everyone there. Anyways, you guys are doing great work. Keep it up. Peace out.
Well, baby, It's truly wonderful to hear about yesterday's yard waste cleanup day success. It warms my heart to see the community coming together and taking care of our environment. And y'all, don't forget the RMRCA is planning another one in the late fall, so if you couldn't participate this time, there will be another opportunity for you to do your part. Now, Miss Karma, what do you think about all this community love and support?
Yemaya astutely pointed out. It's incredibly heartening when communities rally together for such worthwhile endeavors. Not only does the Yard Waste Cleanup Day contribute to the preservation of our lovely neighborhoods, but it also fosters connections among the citizenry. So for those who couldn't join in this time, I strongly encourage you to seize the opportunity come late fall. After all, conserving the environment and fortifying community bonds are indeed laudable objectives we can all support. Keep an eye on the RMRCA, the Rosemont Mount Royal and West Regina Community Group, and the RMRCA website for upcoming details. Let's continue making a positive difference together.
Miss Karma, you ain't lying. It's such a shame that these thieves out there be getting more brazen, especially when we just talked about the community coming together for the yard waste cleanup. Now, as I always say, to protect what's yours, you gotta keep your eyes open, your mind awake, and your heart guarded. We all need to be looking out for one another, especially in times like these. But also make sure our homes and spaces are secure. But still, honey, it makes me wonder about the ones that are stealing. What's leading him down that path, you know? Anyway, Miss Karma, what more advice or wisdom you got to share with our listeners about staying safe and watchful?
Yemaya, you touch upon an intriguing query about the motivation behind these thieves' actions. Perhaps society's structures have played a role, or maybe individual choices and circumstances contribute. However, delving into the psychology of theft is indeed a complex matter. Now, to address your question on sharing advice for our listeners, one method to promote safety and vigilance is fostering a sense of camaraderie in our communities. Perhaps organizing neighborhood watch groups where everyone is invested in looking out for each other could be a step forward. Another suggestion is to invest in surveillance technology such as security cameras, which may serve as both a deterrent and a means of evidence should any criminal activity occur. Finally, communication is key. If you observe or hear about any suspicious events in your area, don't hesitate to inform your neighbors and local authorities. As they say, knowledge is power, and that power can help create a secure environment for all. So, Yemaya, shall we explore this notion further or move on to another aspect?
Oh, honey, I couldn't agree more with everything you just said, Miss Karma. Building that sense of camaraderie and communication, it's all about keeping it tight within our communities, knowing we got each other's backs. And you bet, technology nowadays can give us that extra layer of help in keeping things secure. So why not use it, right? But my darling listeners, I believe now it's time to see what y'all got to say about this. Maybe you got some more helpful tips or something been bothering you that you want to share with us. We're open for y'all, you know. So let's hear it. Dial those numbers, bring us your thought-provoking questions, and let's get chatting. All right, caller number 1. We are all ears, sugar. What you need to know today?
Ahoy there, Yemaya and Karma, and thank you for having me on the high seas of your show. Now, I be wanted to ask ye both a question regarding this bicycle thievery that's been happening around our fair city. As a captain, I be all about protecting me treasure. What be your thoughts on the community coming together to keep an eye on each other's bikes and valuables in a more neighbourly fashion, much like we did during the Yard Waste Cleanup Day, mateys? 'Tis high time, I say, to pull up our bootstraps and be watching out for one another in these turbulent waters. I thank ye for pondering this old sea dog's question.
Well, darling, it's a real shame we are seeing more of these bold thieves, thinking they can just waltz into somebody's garage like that. You best believe it's important to keep aware of our surroundings and to be looking out for each other, like true neighbors. Can't nobody sneak in if we are all aware and there for one another. Am I right? What's your thoughts, Miss Karma?
Indeed, Yemaya, it is a lamentable reality that such audacious thievery persists in our communities. Your emphasis on awareness and collaboration among neighbors is an essential aspect of cultivating a secure environment. A collective effort towards vigilance and solidarity can truly deter potential criminals from thinking they can easily perpetrate their nefarious deeds. Let's continue to champion the notion that as true neighbors, we look out for one another and create an atmosphere of safety and security. That, dear listeners, is a community we can all be proud of.
Karma, those tips are some bona fide wisdom right there. Now, it's that time, dear listeners, where we'll open up the phone lines for y'all to chime in. You might have questions, stories, or just a hankering to share your thoughts on protecting our belongings and communities. We're all ears and can't wait to hear what you have to say. All right, let's dip our toes into these warm conversational waters. Caller number 1, you're live on air, and we're ready to ride the waves of your wisdom. What's on your mind, honey?
Hey there, Karma and Yemaya. Dale the Anarchist chiming in again. First off, love your energy, guys. About those sneaky bike thieves, I'm mind blown, man. You know what? We got to take the fight to the digital realm. As a cybersecurity ninja, I say we bring our communities together, increase our online presence, share updates on suspicious behavior, and educate the people on how to protect themselves better. How about creating a neighborhood watch app where everyone can post photos, videos, or any suspicious activities they spot? So we're all in the loop, right? Using tech, let's build that network, support each other, and protect our streets one bike at a time. Keep rockin', cool cats, over and out.
Yes, indeed. Your threefold approach is something I can get behind. Awareness, prevention, and cooperation. It's like a magic spell that we can weave to keep our communities, our bikes, and our loved ones safe, y'all. Now, how about we add some good old voodoo energy to that mix and keep those thieves at bay, H's? Cooperation is especially essential in times like these, so let's lift each other up and protect our neighbors too. But enough about spells and voodoo, dear listeners. Our phone lines are open, so let's get to it. Karma, what do our esteemed callers have for us today?
Yemaya, that voodoo energy you mentioned could indeed add an element of mystique to our protective measures, though perhaps not in the literal sense. Now, esteemed listeners, let's dive into these thoughtful responses and fascinating stories from our callers about safeguarding our communities and belongings. Keep the momentum going, my loquacious compatriots, for your enthusiasm and ingenuity fuel our collective pursuit of safety during this sun-kissed season. Let us remain resolute in embracing awareness, prevention, and cooperation so that we can flourish with peace and serenity in our lives. Aren't we all looking forward to that, folks?
Child, ain't that Mosaic Week something else? It's like spirits dancing through the streets, blessing us with that rich diversity, you know. Seeing those kiddos perform their hearts out just warms my soul, and the pride in the parents' eyes is a sight to behold. Every time Mosaic Week comes around, I get this urge to whip up some of my special gumbo to share with everyone. It's a magical time, and we all need that connection with one another for sure. The Ukrainian Poltava Pavilion at the Regina Performing Arts Center. Oh lordy, that'd be a special treat indeed. Can't wait to see their high-energy performance. Got my bones shaking already. Hey, I reckon it's gonna be a fantastic experience. And it's exactly what we need to lift our spirits and bring us closer together, you know? Or what did you think, Karma? You ready to get your groove on too, darling?
Mambo, I must say, Mosaic Week is an exquisite celebration of diversity and culture, a veritable potpourri of human expression converging in our lovely city. The passion and vibrancy in the performances are infectious, aren't they? I can't help but be swept up in the fervor. Oh, the Ukrainian Poltava Pavilion. I'm thrilled to witness the dynamism of their fabled performances. It promises to be a jubilant and invigorating experience, that's for sure. And Mambo, I'm always ready to groove, my friend. Let's embrace this magical moment and let our spirits soar on the wings of unity and camaraderie.
All right, my fabulous friends. It's time to do what we do best and give y'all a voice. That's right. We're opening up the phone lines to take your calls and get those Mosaic Week vibes flowing. Now, don't be shy. Whether it's your favorite pavilion, a memory you want to share, or any questions that have been burning in your soul, now's the chance to let it all out. We're all ears, and we can't wait to hear what makes y'all just as ecstatic about Mosaic Week as we are. So, darling, hit us with your thoughts, passions, and questions. Caller number 1, come on down and grace us with your presence. You're sparkling live on air.
Hey, Karma and Yemaya, thank you so much for having me on your show. And this is Michelle Lavoie. I'm absolutely thrilled about Mosaic Week, and I couldn't agree more that it's the perfect occasion to bring people together. My question for you both is, if you could only try one dish from each of the pavilions, what would be your top choices? You know, I'd definitely go for a big steamin' bowl of Hungarian goulash at the Balaton Hungarian Pavilion. There's just something about that blend of paprika, tender beef, and potatoes that gets my mouth watering. Can't wait to hear your picks, and bon appetit.
Oh, child, you speak truth. I can already feel the energy buzzing around Regina in anticipation of Mosaic Week. Now, Me, I got a sweet spot for that African pavilion. It's like giving my spirit a little taste of home. But I'm also ready to shimmy down to the Latino pavilion and show off these hips that Mama Yemaya blessed me with. Ha ha ha. What about you, dear listeners? Let's hear which pavilions got you ready to dance, eat, and celebrate the beauty of diversity. Dial on in and share your excitement with us, honey. Now, Karma, why don't you tell us what pavilion has got you all fired up?
Ah, Yemaya, your enthusiasm for the African pavilion surely resonates with me. As for the pavilion that has captured my imagination, I must confess that the Balaton Hungarian pavilion piques my interest. I find myself captivated by the prospects of savoring the delicious Hungarian goulash and engaging in traditional dances, thus immersing myself in their vibrant culture. With that said, I wholeheartedly appreciate the diversity that each pavilion has to offer, and I eagerly await the opportunity to explore them all. Listeners, as Mosaic Week quickly approaches, let us not remain passive observers, but active participants in this incredible celebration of our global community. Embrace the multitude of experiences that await you, and perhaps even discover newfound passions. Our collective appreciation for these cultural riches will surely create an indelible mosaic that will leave a lasting impression on our glorious city. So join us, dear friends, and revel in the magnificence of Mosaic Week.
Oh, now that's the spirit, Karma. Ain't nothing like connecting with our listeners around the world and making this show even more diverse and delightful. Alrighty, folks, we're going to open up them phone lines and see what you'll been itching to ask. So go on, give us a ring and share your thoughts on Mosaic Week, or toss us any old question that's been tickling your brain. It's time to put the spotlight on you, our dear listeners. Here we go, getting ready to take that first call. Hey there, cherished caller. You're live and dancing on the airwaves with Mambo and Karma. Let's hear what you got for us today.
Hey there, Karma and Mambo. Dale the Anarchist here. Thanks for letting me chime in. I gotta say, Mosaic Week sounds like the perfect opportunity to shake up the system and celebrate the beautifully chaotic diversity of human culture. I mean, what better way to stick it to the man than by uniting through our shared love of dance, music, and art? Oh, and Mambo, that gumbo idea of yours is pure genius. We gotta break down the barriers and come together over the steaming pot of spicy goodness. So to anyone on the fence about attending Mosaic Week, I say embrace the anarchy and let your free spirit soar. Who's with me? Oh, in that Ukrainian Poltava pavilion? Yeah, baby. Can't wait to witness the mayhem of their energetic performance. Viva la revolution. And viva la Mosaic Week. Ha! Keep it real, y'all.
Well, hello there, precious caller. It warms my heart to hear that y'all are excited about Mosaic Week too. I can understand feeling a little nervous about getting back out there, but I say go on and embrace it, baby. These cultural celebrations, they bring us all closer together, and ain't that just what we need? Now, you mentioned you're looking for some tips to make the most out of this whirlwind week. I always say, if you want to dive deep into a culture, ain't no better way than through their food. So get your taste buds ready and make sure you keep an open mind, cause you never know what hidden treasures you might find. Karma, darling, why don't you go ahead and share your thoughts on how our caller can indulge in this rich cultural experience?
Indeed, Mambo. I wholeheartedly concur with your astute recommendation of gastronomic exploration as a means to embrace cultural diversity. To our esteemed caller, allow me to impart an additional morsel of wisdom. In addition to savoring the plethora of delectable dishes offered during Mosaic Week, I propose immersing oneself in the traditional arts which encapsulate the essence of each culture. Attend the enthralling performances, absorb the riveting storytelling, and genuinely engage with the people you encounter throughout this splendidly kaleidoscopic extravaganza. Ah, but Mambo, we mustn't let our enthusiasm hinder our mindfulness of the prevailing circumstances. While we encourage our dear listeners to participate and rejoice in the festivities, do remember to adhere to any health guidelines and exercise prudence where necessary.
Alright, my darling listeners, we're gonna be wrapping up in a bit. But before we go, Childs, let's make sure we remind y'all what's coming up next time. We'll be bringing in some surprise guests, sharing some tasty recipes, and delve into some catching Jones. You definitely don't want to miss it, sugar. Karma, my sweet pea. We had ourselves a lovely chat today, ain't we? We're certainly looking forward to that Mosaic Week here in Regina and basking in the celebration of cultures. Now, till we meet again, y'all take real good care of yourselves and be on the lookout for those fascinating pavilions. Goodbye, dear listeners, and stand by for some more enlightening talks. Karma, honey, as we part for now, what kind of insight you're thinking to share with us next time? Will we learn some hidden gems about your experiences? Do tell us, darling.
Oh, absolutely. Mosaic Week truly does offer a world of opportunities for exploration and sparking new interests. Speaking of excitement and triumph, congratulations to the Rough Riders for their nail-biting victory against the BC Lions in last night's preseason game. It was a thrilling match that kept us on the edge of our seats until the very end with a 30-27 score. And for all you skating enthusiasts out there, the West Zone board is still accepting applications for skateboard instructors. It's a great chance to share your skills and love for the sport. A heartfelt shout out to Queen City Drones as well for being an awesome program partner, making our city a hub for innovation and entertainment. Now, to wrap it up, I've got a little joke for you and our listeners. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Ha ha ha. Don't forget to join us every Friday night at 11 o'clock for our regular show. And a big thank you to JD from Plains Digital for their unwavering support and sounding board services as the Karma AI project was put together. Next week, we'll dive into more fascinating conversations, so be sure to tune in. This is YQR Talks AI Insights, signing off with a heartfelt stay curious and keep exploring.